Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies coming at you with another Middle Earth Monday videos. You guys seem to be enjoying the series. The number of views on each video week to week seems to be increasing, which is a very positive sign for me for this particular series. I was worried that it wasn't going to get the attention I think it deserves, being that Middle Earth is one of my favorite places to play a miniature war game. So we're continuing on with the Fellowship here, getting that scenic base done up. So we did Legolas first, Gimli second, and now we're finishing off the trifecta of the three hunters and going for Aragorn next. So that's what we'll be painting up here in today's video. Before I get into it, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to keep the lights on and the cameras rolling. If you're interested in getting involved, check out the links below. You get a bunch of benefits like a private Discord server and an extra video every single week. So that's 52 extra videos a year just for you guys. That also includes all YouTube channel members, which also there's links below if you want to get involved with that. Thank you guys so much. Let's get into the video. Okay, to round out the three hunters, we're going to go for Aragon next for the Middle Earth Monday series. Of course, it's the original Fellowship one to match in with the rest of the Fellowship models that I've done for the series so far and to fit into that beautiful scenic base. We're going to start with Dark Angel's Green Contrast, and we're going to apply this all over his jacket. So obviously his ranger garb has him wearing nothing but kind of dark browns, blacks and olive greens, so he blends into the surroundings. As a character, it's a very easy and cool looking thing. For a miniature, it's kind of difficult to paint all those kind of dark colors and still make the model seem as interesting as it can be because it's such a muted tone. Like Legolas's jacket is obviously quite a lot more vibrant in the green department than his, and Gimli has all those kind of rich reds, golds, which makes him stand out. Aragon being a lonely ranger means that it was a little bit more tricky, but follow along with the steps and you will get a very nice result. Like I said, these models are 25 years old at this stage, so the detail isn't incredible on them, but just do what you can, paint in as much detail as possible. You're not looking for a model that's the equivalent of today's level model. Just a nice clean paint job will give you a really nice result. Something you'll be happy to play through the scenarios in the books with. Garaghak Sewer was the color of choice that I went for his kind of like apron undersuit thing. It is a really dark brown in all the images I could find online, so I'm trying to stick with that tone, and Garaghak Sewer is a beautiful new color for doing that style of work with. Got to be careful not to hit his belt or even the strap of the belt going down, because that is actually quite a brighter color, and we want to be using contrast to get all the base coats on, so if you do a really dark Garaghak Sewer over it, you're not going to see it with the other colors. Rattling Grime was then, it's almost like a very blacky brown color. I went for this for his kind of sleeping thing that goes around his neck. From the pictures, it looks like that kind of wax material, so like a waterproof material. So it's not the same color as anything else on him except for like his trousers. So where his knees are visible, you're the same kind of, so you do that the Garaghak Sewer and a sleeping wrap poncho thing that he wears, but being careful once again not to hit the belt that holds his like quiver and bow on his back, because that's obviously a brighter color again, and the Egoros Dunes is what we're going to do that. So obviously the wraps that go around his boots to keep that all in place, his belt, the strap going around his back, his bow, they're all going to go Egoros Dunes to get a kind of a slightly brighter tone, kind of like a point of interest for the model. Even Aragon's hair is jet black, so he really doesn't have a pop of color. I know he's not supposed to, but obviously we will play around with his base and make him pop with that later on. But like I've said in the last two videos, if you haven't watched the last two videos, there's Legolas and Gimli are already done for the series, and their bases are just blacked out for now because we're putting them in that beautiful special scenic base. So I want to do the scenic base plus all the miniatures bases at exactly the same time so they blend in perfectly. Gulman Flesh was used to throw over all of his skin, so just a little bit that's visible on his face and his hands. Nothing crazy. We went back to Garaghak Sewer for his hair. I didn't want to go quite like jet black because it's not really jet black. It does have like a few hints of brown in it, so Garaghak Sewer once again played that off really well and gave me the result that I was happy with. We did have a little bit of a mess up later on. A paint let me down. I know it's a bizarre thing for a paint to let you down, and I thought this issue had abated with the release of the new shades, but unfortunately I used the end of a pot of Seraphim Sepia to wash the miniature,
And that unfortunately led to the model being very shiny when it dried. I thought that didn't happen anymore, but unfortunately it did. I did throw a quick coat of spray Minutes varnish over the top to try and dull the gloss down. And to me, the gloss did look like it was dyed down a little bit in person, but the way the light and the camera was catching it, it does look very shiny when the shade is dry. You will see it here in a minute. And it was a little bit annoying to see on the camera, but we cover up 90% of it with the layering job anyway. So all in all, in the very end, it didn't make too much of a difference. It was just a little bit frustrating because as it stands here, I have that, like I talked about, that nice natural looking model. You could set that into like a woodland scene and he would almost disappear, which is kind of what you want from a ranger. Seraphim Sepia being that like kind of warm brown color accents all those colors really nice, and once again sets him into that scene really well, and I was super excited for it. While the shade was drying, I did of course black out the base, and as you can see, he looks like a shiny sweet, which is quite annoying. But we power on, we power through. Raw flesh was then brought in to layer up the jacket, once again sticking with that kind of olive color garb. Keep with natural tones. You don't want to go into anything that's like orc skin color or toxic waste green, and we'll stay away from all those kind of colors. Natural tones. I'm just following the creases and wrinkles in his jacket, leaving the folds nice and dark and just hitting the high points with the raw flesh, just add that little bit of highlight to it. From here, we're going to jump over to Catachan Flesh, and we're going to layer up that jerkin that he's wearing. I don't know what it's actually called, his jacket, under jacket thing that he wears. Like a leather apron jacket with no sleeves. It's quite a bizarre garb, to be honest, but I guess it makes sense if you're a ranger. So yeah, Catachan Flesh to layer up that. It's a really nice brown highlight color. It's got a kind of a touch of a skin tone to it. That's what it's designed for, but it works a treat for this kind of highlighting job. From here, we're going to jump over to Rhinox Hide, and this is for the kind of waxy bit that I was talking about earlier on his sleeping poncho or whatever, plus the trousers that are throwing through at the knees. We're just going to use Rhinox Hide to add a quick layer to those. It's the important thing about kind of breaking up even all the different browns, going for different colors. If you did them all the same brown, the model would literally look like a baked potato. From here, we're going to jump over to Tallarn Sand and layer up all those bits that we did the egg roast doing. So the wraps on his boots, his belt, the strap going over his back, his bow, his quiver, as actually, which I haven't showed a lot, it's actually been done with the Garaghak sewer as well. Just that nice dark, rich brown color, which is what it is in the movies. But the strap is definitely the brighter color. Taking your time not to hit any of the green jacket or any of the brown highlighted bits, as they're finished for this point, so you don't want to be going back over them. A few highlights in the bow. I know that's a little bit brighter than the bow is supposed to be, but like I said, I needed a point of interest, and it doesn't stand out and be like too weird. If it was really dark brown, you might not even notice he has a bow at first glance. With this, you definitely can see that he is carrying his bow. And he's also got a sleeping bedroll on his back that's done those same colors. Cadian flesh tone was brought in to, of course, highlight his face, and he hasn't got a lot to it. So literally the top of the cheeks, his nose, and his forehead are the only things you have to add a quick highlight to, excluding, of course, his face, or his hand, sorry. Last touch is we're going to add a little bit of Ironbreaker to highlight his sword. I always felt weird about Aragon's sword. Obviously, this is his original sword, which seemed like a quite good quality sword. What happened to it after he was given Narsil? Did he just leave it at the Rohan camp? Did he give it to somebody? Did he entrust it to somebody? It's a bizarre thing that has annoyed me for years. If anybody knows what Aragon did with his original sword, let me know. So, video 1 we did for this series, we had Legolas. He gets placed in the scenic base. Second video we did was Gimli. Rich reds are really nice. He sits on top of his tomb, or Balin's tomb, and then we have Aragon. And if you look at it, the doors to the tomb where the troll come in basically come in from the bottom of the screen, so they're all faced correctly where they were in the movie, ready to rock and roll, ready to defend the hobbits and fight off all of those goblins and push a troll. So I cannot wait to continue this series and get it all done.
Okay guys, and there we have it, one Aragorn ready to face down Uruk-hai hordes at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring. Very excited to have this guy finally finished. So happy to be 3 models into this series already. With, what, 5 more to go? So 6 more to go? 6 more to go. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into the rest. I think I'm going to jump over to maybe a couple of Hobbits for the next one. I'm going to do, I think, Merry and Pippin as a pair in one video, and then Sam and Frodo as a pair in another video, and then obviously a Gandalf and a Boromir to round it off. And then, of course, the base. So stick around, guys. Make sure you subscribe to catch the rest of the series. Make sure you give the video a like so more people see it, and ask me any question you want in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in next week's video.